So welcome to the second part of the worktop video, and today you'll see me cut the sink out and cut the hob out, and then I will be putting some drainer grooves in here on this bench. Every part of that will be shown, you know, how to make the jig for that, etc, etc. So let's get straight into that. So I'm going to cut this sink into that worktop. So what I've done is I've measured 130 millimeters back. It's just a random measurement just to get this, you know, away from the front edge. And I've drawn around this whole entire thing. And the work surface obviously wants to overhang all the way around, forming a lip. So I need to make this template. This is so I can route the hole in the worktop. About 20 millimeters or so smaller. So 20 mil in from this edge all the way around. So if I go there, 20 in. I'm just aiming for the edge of the radius to mark my 20 mil. And then we'll see how square that looks. I don't think the sink's very square, it's more oblongish with bulging sides. Well, unfortunately my battery went yesterday, so I couldn't show you me just jigging this out. I'm just feeling around it now. Yeah, there's just one or two places that need, because it's been freehand with the jigsaw, you know. One or two places that just need a little bit of sanding just to make them straight. But when you do sand them, make sure you're square to the edge, otherwise it won't do you any favours. What have I got on there? Yeah, 120, that'll do. So I'll use this orbital on this face here just to take any little lumps off there, and that seems fine. So I'll start there. So keep it square to the face and plug it in. And then around the radiuses, that's too small a grit. For this on the floor. Yeah, bit of 120. So the microphone is playing up. So here we have me cutting a hole out, having marked it on the work surface, and doing it very quickly because of the setting on the camera. And there it is, cut out. Trying the template on again. So I'm going to be fixing this template down to the work surface so that I can route the hole out perfectly according to my template. Obviously when I cut the hole out I left a little bit of waste to cut off. So I've got a tracing bit in this router, and I'm just going to go around following the template, cutting a bit off at a time. Looks like I'm doing a bit at a time. I do have a different router bit which would have cut all that off in one go, but I think earlier on in the video I said that I couldn't find it. I've found it and used it since. About £70 for a decent router bit. Ultimately, the cut will be absolutely spot on, with no burn marks. If it travels at the right speed, no jarring and no chafing, it shouldn't cut the wood up at all, other than cutting it off to the right size. Well, it looks like I've got one more pass to do on this, so I'll be dropping the router a bit down low enough to take the last little bit off, and off I go again. I guess it's taking the last quarter of an inch or so off. Well, I've changed the router blade now for a radiusing bit, the same as I put on the front edge, and just rounding that top edge in nicely. So I've got a fluted bit now, and I guess I'm going to be putting some square drainer grooves going from no impression on the wood till about 5mm deep in this 26mm work surface, using a template that I shall modify to make this work. So what I've got here is 2 pieces of MDF and a couple of pieces of 2x1, and the bit that I've got in my hand there that I'm popping in that slot is the guide that goes on the bottom of the router, and I'm just checking that it slides up and down easily, but as tight as a guide should be. So it looks like I'm moving that over to allow it to slide up and down. On the back I've got a 5mm packer, and that'll lift the back end 5mm, so I'll be able to route in the work surface from 0 down to 5mm at the exit end. As demonstrated by running my finger up and down this jig again, explaining that the front end over the bowl is going to be 5mm, and the top end where my left hand is going to be 5mm above the surface. So I've masked up the surface so that I can mark out how many and where these trainer grooves are going to go. From memory, I think I put 5 in, put 1 straight up the middle on the short edge of the bowl, and I made that square with the side of the bowl, and then 2 further ones either side, that equidistant, sort of in a fan pattern. I'm using a piece of block to incorporate the square. Now I'm measuring for the other 2 either side of the centre. I'm just pointing out that it's a fan pattern. So now I'm just drawing the mark to mark from the long fan edge down to the sink edge. I guess that is the centre of the line, which I'll put my jig over the top of, centre at both ends. Well, I've got my jig on the work surface, and I guess I'll be grabbing the router in a moment and just seeing where I'm going to be starting and finishing, and then setting the router to depth. Right, well I must be happy because I've got the router on the work surface again. I think I was saying that I'm putting my router jig over the centre of the line that I marked, and I'm pointing at all 5. I'm starting in the middle by the looks of things. Talking about following the line. I guess any minute now I should be grabbing a clamp. Oh, no, I'm going to check the depth now of the router bit down to the work surface, and also that the centre of the router bit is on the centre line of my route. Oh, there I am. Oh, looks like I'm routing now. I've got my G-clamps on the jig. Seeing if I'm happy with that. Well, I went down there again. Basically what I'm going to be doing is putting the jig on and off as I route the other 4 grooves in there. Routing down the same groove again. I'm going to say that the reason I'm doing this is that the groove that I initially put in isn't to my chosen depth. As in, where the router hits the work surface, it's just beginning to cut in, whereas I want a little bit of a step, so there's a hard shoulder where the groove starts and not just fades to nothing. So all I do is I position the router over each groove, check it at both ends, and then set the router to plunge an extra 3mm, so it'll be 3mm at the shadow end, and at the very deepest point 8mm. Well, that's all 5 of the grooves done. I've taken the jig off, giving that surface a very, very slight sand to take any burr off that's happened as I've done the routing. It'd be very, very little because the router bits are so sharp. Just checking for any imperfections in the grooves. So I took the tape off, having routed all those. I decided they weren't actually deep enough. So what I'm doing now is I'm setting it up again on top of the original lines, using the blade as the guide to put it back on, by dropping the blade down into the groove. And then I'm taking it up to the top, putting the blade to where I previously started my cut, and then making it 3mm deeper and doing it again. So I'll do this one, and you'll see what I'm talking about. So I'm coming back with my blade to where I originally started, which is there, and there we go, there. And I'll take that down there and make sure that my blade is fully in that groove, which it is. Oh, could that have moved it? Let that be a lesson to myself. Start that again, turn that around that way, drop that onto the line. That looks better. That looks like it's in the groove there. That looks like that needs to go that way. I've only done this right the first time, eh? And that's there. Pop that on, and then just check the other end there. It's in there. Yeah, okay. So, what I was talking about making it deeper was, and I should have done this first time, having discovered what I've discovered. So I've dropped that down to the surface where it's supposed to start, lock that off for a moment, and then pick this up to 3mm, which you can use on this gauge here if you wish, and then lift this up, drop that down that 3mm, and then when we start we don't want to burn it, so we're going to let it in and then just go down the run. I'm going to have to sort out this sound thing that's going on. Last one. There, where it started. Pull that round there. Clamp on. Check that that's in the groove, which it is. And that is to back up to the top, clamp on it. No, straight in. Bring that up, push that down, lock it off. Oh, it's already set at 3mm now, so I can push that down, introduce it, and so this is the final result of just deepening it a little bit. So we've got a decent groove on these. That looks like a step there, it isn't? It's actually, can you see that? It's actually in the wood. That's actually flush. It looks like there's a step there, but there's not. Running out to 3mm on this end. This just needs a little bit of sanding in the groove. I'm going to cut the hole out for the tap. I'll just pop this inside, marked underneath where the edge of the the cabinet is, I measured 20mm back from the front edge because that's our overhang to the edge of the metal, and then gone in that corner. So I popped a hole through just to check, and it's absolutely fine. So it's going to drill a hole now for the tap. Doesn't want to be on hammer, does it? Try to drill. And then we can get the sink mounted in there. I need to go and get myself go on my lines. Okay. Just quickly draw a line around here. Got myself some clear silicone and get this into place. Anchor it with a couple of screws, and then I've got some fixings somewhere. Some of these fixings which need screwing into the work surface, and then these will clamp it up and bolt it down. I can see where the edge of my cabinet is, so I can ensure that the clamps, wherever I put them, don't interfere. Well, that's the worktop in. I've actually screwed it in. The sink's fitted from with the brackets from underneath, and I've popped the tap on. The tap will come off, and the hob will come out when we wax the work surface. But it's all looking very good. I'm going to put an upstand along the back of that work surface now. The offcut that came out of there originally when I scribed it back is exactly the right length, funny enough, because that's how things work. So I'm going to just machine up a little bit of timber and put an edge on that, and I'll put that on. Well, that went particularly badly, didn't it? Yes, I did get it all done, but the sound went, and I can't understand it, but we've got new sound equipment now, starting at this very moment. So let's see how that goes. Thanks for watching. Thanks if you have subscribed already. Do the old like and subscribe if you haven't. That'd be brilliant. Thank you very much.